first of all. I've been deployed 3 times to different war zones. I don't want to be in a foxhole next to somebody who doesn't want to be there.
Tulsi Gabbard's divorce has sparked many conversations, from the reasons behind her split to how it might affect her political career. There's a lot to unpack. Let's look at the key moments, public reactions, and lessons learned from her journey through this major life change. Let us start right from the beginning. Back in 2013, Hawaii native politician Tulsi Gabbard ran across cinematographer Abraham Williams. A cinematographer today is someone who uses cameras to capture the ideal shots, thereby rendering movies or videos just right. While running to represent her native Hawaii, Abraham was assisting Tulsi throughout her Congress campaign. Working together, they grew close, and over time that friendship developed into something more. They fell in love. 2015 saw Tulsi and Abraham decide to get married. Unlike the big weddings some popular personalities enjoy, theirs was a quiet and private ceremony conducted on a Hawaiian beach. Coming from a Hindu background, Tulsi had a Hindu wedding, which made it much more meaningful for her and her loved ones. Surrounded by family and close friends, they exchanged vows with the sound of the ocean in the background. Many people like how straightforward and grounded the couple was, especially on this peaceful and lovely day. Tulsi and Abraham were spotted together at several public gatherings over the years. The political career of Tulsi was flourishing, and she was growing more and more famous all around the nation. Many felt that Tulsi, with her strong political presence, and Abraham with his cool and artistic demeanor, were a fine couple. In pictures, they always looked content and encouraging of one another. They seemed to balance each other out. Things can change the happiest of relationships too. What transpired next in their marriage? Tulsi's political career kept developing with time. She was serving in Congress at the time and subsequently declared her 2020 presidential candidacy. But some began to notice Abraham wasn't constantly at her side at public engagements, as her profession became more taxing. As a cameraman, he kept working, yet his visits to Tulsi became rare. The media started to conjecture about their relationship, asking if all was good between them. Some felt their marriage may be suffering under the demands of Tulsi's political activities. Though there were rumors, Tulsi and Abraham hardly discussed their personal life, particularly in relation to issues of the heart. Tulsi has always been a somewhat reserved person. She concentrated on her work. They both kept any problems they were having out of public notice. Still, the people kept wondering, as they sometimes do. Was problems developing in their relationship? Did they seem to be separating? Nobody could say for sure. Though rumors persisted, Tulsi and Abraham said nothing, and then arrived the much-awaited announcement. Years of conjecture notwithstanding, Tulsi Gabbard decided to reveal what was happening in their marriage at last. Abraham and she had agreed to split ways. Though it was a tough decision, Tulsi felt it was the correct one. After all, occasionally even two people who are quite close to one another can come to see that their paths are separating. While many people were surprised by the disclosure, others had noticed the indicators. Like every relationship, their marriage had been a trip of ups and downs. Ultimately, though, Tulsi and Abraham both realized that it was time for each other to proceed alone. Although their love tale came to an end, their respect for one another stayed. For Tulsi, it was also crucial to show the world this aspect of her life in an honest and kind manner. How then did Tulsi decide to let people know she was divorcing? And how did people respond? The announcement, where, when, and how it happened. Regarding popular personalities like Tulsi Gabbard, major life events like a divorce can draw a lot of interest. People have been following her personal life and career after all for years. She made news when she at last decided to tell Abraham Williams she was divorcing him. But how did she do it? Did she give a major public speech or a news conference? Not quite exactly. Tulsi chooses to gently and deliberately declare her divorce. Many individuals these days spread the news on social media. So she did. She wanted to address her supporters and the public directly, not let stories keep whirling about. Posting on her social media helped Tulsi spread the news in her own words and helped to shape the story. This lets her be open and honest while yet maintaining civility. Tulsi said in her statement that she and Abraham had decided to divorce following considerable thought. She didn't go into it in great detail, but she made it quite obvious that the choice was mutual. That is, that both Abraham and she felt it was the appropriate one for them. Although Tulsi said the relationship had been full of love and respect, they had both come to see it was time to move forth individually. How then did people respond after Tulsi's bold announcement? Tulsi's approach of breaking the news was really calm and polite. She wanted not to set up a major scene or herself entangled in a drama. Divorce is a personal and usually terrible process, and Tulsi obviously wanted to approach it elegantly. She made her declaration without pointing fingers or disparaging Abraham. Rather, she concentrated on the good times they had and how they would still respect one another going forward. The people responded in somewhat different ways when she made her declaration. Some were shocked, since they had not expected this news at all. Others, who observed the indicators of distance between Tulsi and Abraham, were not as surprised. The story was grabbed by the media right away and covered by numerous sources. Some others discussed how challenging it must be for someone in Tulsi's position, a public personable, to go through such a personal life transition as the entire planet watches. Many of Tulsi's followers wrote her loving notes on social media, saying they were thinking of her during trying circumstances. They appreciated her honesty and fortitude in imparting the news personally instead of allowing rumors to keep proliferating. Though Tulsi knew it was crucial to confront the matter head-on, opening up about something so personal proved difficult. But what were the main factors Tulsi revealed influencing her choice to divorce? The declaration provided some political analysts with a forum to discuss the difficulty politicians have juggling their personal life with their careers. Ultimately, Tulsi had been working tirelessly for years, from her time in Congress to her presidential campaign. Being in the public glare and juggling the demands of a political career can make it difficult to concentrate on relationships. Many suspected that this may have influenced her choice to divorce. Tulsi stayed committed to presenting her truth in spite of media attention. She stayed to the facts and handled the matter sensibly, since she did not want the narrative to turn into a tabloid show-off. Her statement ultimately addressed how to proceed with decency and respect, even in trying circumstances, not only regarding the dissolution of a marriage. Gabbard's viewpoint: reason for the divorce. When Tulsi Gabbard discussed her divorce, she was quite deliberate. She aimed to be open and honest with those who had been tracking her life and profession. Tulsi clarified in her statement that she did not decide to call off her marriage to Abraham Williams overnight. Rather, it was something she and Abraham both came to after understanding their distance over time had increased. Tulsi revealed mostly about their divorce, the personal difficulties she experienced during their marriage. Being a public personality, Tulsi was under continuous attention. Her life was therefore not only about her and her husband, it was also about the expectations, obligations, and pressure that accompanied a political career. Her personal life was frequently put on hold while Tulsi was running for president and serving in Congress. She said that juggling her rigorous political career with her marriage demands was challenging, and that over time, this strained their relationship. But specifically, what difficulties Tulsi encountered, and how did her marriage suffer? The lengthy hours and travel involved in her political career presented one major obstacle Tulsi discussed. She had to spend a lot of time away from home as a congresswoman, attending meetings, activities, and legislative writing sessions. She was thus not always able to spend as much time with Abraham as she would have liked. Being a cinematographer, Abraham also had a career to concentrate on. Hence, they were often leading different lifestyles. Though they still loved each other, this physical distance caused difficulties for them to remain as close as a relationship. Constant public and media attention presented another difficulty for Tulsi. Politically, everything she accomplished was under close inspection. This included her personal life, which started to be discussed among those not even acquainted with her. Tulsi said she struggled to have a regular marriage under public expectations. The media scrutinized every choice she made, in her personal life as much as in her job, and this strained her relationship with Abraham. Does Tulsi's political career then significantly influence her choice to call off her marriage? Indeed, it did. Tulsi was candid about how her rigorous work schedule strained her relationship. She said that constantly being in public made it difficult for her to concentrate on her marriage, and that over time, she came to see that both Abraham and she had to follow different roads. Although both of them put a lot of effort into keeping their relationship afloat, ultimately, they realized it would be wise to go on. Tulsi considered what she now knew about love, marriage, and personal development following the divorce. She said that although ending her marriage hurt, it was also a crucial step toward her own well-being. Tulsi discussed how crucial it is to take care of yourself, even during trying circumstances. She considered the choice to divorce as a means of forward-looking and emphasizing her own development, personal and professional alike. After the divorce, Tulsi talks about her personal development and what she's looking forward to. Tulsi gave her insights on marriage and personal development great attention. She said that occasionally two people who love and care for one another may grow in separate directions. For Tulsi, deciding to call it quits on her marriage was about realizing when it was time for a positive change rather than about failing. She discussed the need of paying attention to your heart and acting in line with your own well-being, even if it involves making tough decisions. Public and media reaction to the divorce. The public had plenty to say upon Tulsi Gabbard's divorce announcement. People were interested in her handling of this personal difficulty, as she had been under public attention for so long. Given the demands of her political career, some were astonished. Others had seen it approaching. People had diverse ideas regarding the matter, and the responses were mixed. Many of Tulsi's followers were really sympathetic and gentle. Her candor and honesty on such a personal matter delighted them. People posted supportive notes on social media, including, "We're thinking of you, Tulsi," and "It takes a lot of strength to make such a tough decision." For her supporters, Tulsi's candor simply increased their respect for her. They loved her elegant and mature handling of the divorce. But how did the media view Tulsi's divorce? Of course, the media meticulously reported the narrative. Headlines and news sources all over ran like, "Tulsi Gabbard announces divorce," and "Gabbard and husband part ways after years of marriage." Some pieces on the personal side of the narrative discussing Tulsi's thoughts on her marriage and the difficulties she encountered. Other sources adopted a more critical stance, examining how her political career might have helped her marriage to fall apart. On Twitter and Instagram, among other social media sites, the news was generating attention. Some users developed hashtags to discuss the divorce, and there were many debates on what the divorce meant for Tulsi's future, personal and geopolitical. While some questioned whether her political career would suffer from the divorce, others concentrated on the personal side of the narrative and showed sympathy for the challenges Tulsi was under. What then were the several points of view people held about the divorce? The divorce was seen from a few distinct angles. Many people were in favor of Tulsi, since they understood that the public view of such a significant life transition is never easy. They wished her well in her next activities and commended her for managing the matter with grace. Her prioritizing of personal well-being, even if it meant making a difficult decision, was another point of admiration for some. Not everyone was, though, as encouraging. The chance presented some opponents to wonder whether Tulsi's political aspirations had interfered with her personal life. Some even predicted that the divorce might damage her political reputation, since the demands of her work had put excessive strain on her marriage. These detractors interpreted the divorce as evidence that Tulsi was more preoccupied with her work to keep a committed partnership. How does the divorce of Tulsi differ from other political divorces we have witnessed? Divorce of a prominent politician is not unprecedented. Tulsi is not the only one. Many politicians, both in the United States and elsewhere, have had to negotiate the challenging seas of divorce while under public view. People have likened Tulsi's circumstances, for instance, to those of Alan Tipper Gore or former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton or other political divorces. Although every scenario is unique, they all presented the difficulty of juggling a rigorous job with personal connections. Although Tulsi's divorce was difficult, how did she remain strong and forward-moving? The function of politics in her marriage. The political career of Tulsi Gabbard has always been tough and fierce. Being in politics calls for a lot of time, effort, and dedication. It is not so simple. For Tulsi, her career meant she had to travel across the nation, interact with many people, and spend long hours working on critical topics. Her commitment to her political career most certainly influenced her marriage to Abraham Williams. Though the pressure of her political life made it challenging for them to spend time together, Tulsi and Abraham loved each other. Maintaining a tight connection while one person is always on the go and away from home is challenging. When Tulsi decided to run for president, it was among the toughest periods of her career. Running for president carries a great weight. Hence, Tulsi had to be especially more focused on her work. She visited people, gave speeches, and attended debates throughout months of national travel. She spent this period hardly ever at home with Abraham. The relationship probably suffered from this distance, as well as the pressure of the campaign. But even more, how did Tulsi's presidential campaign impact her marriage? Her marriage may have suffered from this continuous attention, since it is difficult to have a regular relationship while the whole world is watching. Personal ties may suffer in political life. Politicians have erratic schedules and are supposed to always be accessible. This meant for Tulsi that she cannot always be there for Abraham when he needed her. Though they both knew the rigors of her work, their estrangement probably widened with time. Tulsi had less time for her personal life the more her political job took front stage. Are other politicians facing the same difficulties, or is Tulsi's situation special? Tulsi is not the only politician who struggles to balance marriage with politics. Similar difficulties have faced many other politicians. For instance, public examination of former U.S. Senator John Kerry and his wife during his presidential campaign, and the frequent discussion of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's marriage during her political career. These instances highlight how politics may strain personal relationships. Tulsi's circumstances fit a larger trend among prominent personalities. Reflections on her political career post-divorce. Many people questioned Tulsi Gabbard's political future once she revealed her divorce from Abraham Williams. Tulsi had never shied away from discussing her difficulties. She had always been a tenacious and driven politician. Having come out clean about her divorce, several people thought her public image may suffer. Others believed it would make her even more approachable to those people who had gone through such challenges in their own life. It became abundantly evident, following the news of her divorce, that Tulsi would not allow her personal life to stop her from carrying on her political activity. She stayed concentrated on the problems she cared about and kept advocating on subjects including civil liberties, national security, and foreign policy. Actually, several people considered her candor on her divorce as evidence of strength. They respected her for being upfront about her challenges and for always being forward-leaning in her profession. Might Tulsi's divorce improve her political profile? While some worried about how the divorce may compromise Tulsi's political future, others thought it would really enhance her reputation. Through candid discussion of her personal experiences, Tulsi demonstrated her readiness for openness and vulnerability. Tulsi's candor makes her look more approachable in a society where politicians are sometimes considered as far off from daily hardships. Those who had experienced personal hardships or their own divorces could now relate to her more deeply. Although the public's opinion of Tulsi did not shift overnight, her divorce most surely entered the discussion on her future political career. Some political analysts conjectured that the divorce may make her more sympathetic to people who had gone through comparable difficulties. Others questioned whether it could impact her capacity for political goal focus. Tulsi made it abundantly evident, nevertheless, that she would not let her personal life ruin her job. Will Tulsi's divorce change her intended political path? Politically, Tulsi has always been driven and aspirational. She refused to let her divorce hold her down. Though she had not stated any particular future intentions, many felt she would still be very important in American politics. Whether or not her divorce will affect her political views or public appearances remain to be seen. Tulsi has repeatedly demonstrated time and time again that she is able to overcome hardship. Some suggested that Tulsi's divorce would provide her fresh insights on problems of family and relationships. She had always been preoccupied with more general policy concerns as a politician, but now she might be more likely to advocate work-life balance, mental health, or the difficulties of being a public persona. Whether or not she decided to change her emphasis, it was abundantly evident that Tulsi's political career would remain shaped by her own experiences. Following her divorce, there is a political future for Tulsi Gabbard. Political future of Tulsi stayed bright even after her divorce. She had always come out stronger, having surmounted difficulties before. Tulsi was prepared to go, even with great vigor, since she had told her own story to the world. Though it was yet unknown if her divorce would affect her political career, one thing was certain: Tulsi was still young. She still had much to accomplish. Her path is far from finished. Lessons from Tulsi Gabbard's divorce, public figures and personal lives. Like many famous personalities, Tulsi Gabbard has faced pressures in juggling her personal life with her job. Her divorce raised awareness of the difficulties experienced by people in prominent positions and reminded us that even the most successful people struggle to keep a decent personal life. For everyone, divorce can be very emotional and taxing, but for someone like Gabbard, who is always under public view, it may be very challenging. For political leaders, the rigor of public service often sour ties. Little space for privacy or quality time with loved ones might result from continual travel, media coverage, and public scrutiny. For Gabbard, the difficulty she experienced might have resulted from juggling a rigorous political job with her marriage. Her story emphasizes the larger problem many people in prominent roles face: the battle to separate public responsibilities from personal life. How do celebrities like Tulsi Gabbard handle the demands of juggling personal and public life? Being in the public view implies that every element of your life is under close examination. For Gabbard, her divorce evolved from a personal issue to a public one. Regarding their personal relationships, public personalities deal with one of the main difficulties. Politicians and celebrities have to deal with public perceptions on their personal matters, as opposed to regular citizens. For already challenging events like the dissolution of a marriage, this extra strain can make handling them even more tough. One cannot stress the part the media plays in the life of famous personalities. News sources sometimes center on politicians' personal life, which can cause stress for their family as well as for their public personages. The divorce of Gabbard reminds us that public personalities are nonetheless human, despite their great positions. Like everyone else, they go through suffering, including loss and heartache. The lesson here is that prominent personalities have to strike a balance between their personal well-being and professional obligations, even while the public is observing. How does a public figure's personal life suffer or benefit from media attention? Public figure families also deal with major difficulties, though they are not personally in the limelight. Public figures' families also deal with major difficulties, though they are not personally in the limelight. Spouses and children may feel the weight of public life. Sometimes the career of their loved ones forces them to give up their privacy and personal time. For Gabbard, her family might have also suffered from her rigorous political involvement. Maintaining good relationships can be challenging when one spouse spends all their time serving others, therefore depriving time for personal connection. Political life's pressures go beyond mere media attention. Public personalities sometimes have to make difficult choices affecting their personal life as well as their careers. For Gabbard, choosing to divorce might have been among those difficult decisions. Given society's expectations of leaders to provide a picture of stability and strength, it probably required a great lot of guts to publicly admit that her marriage was failing. How do celebrities manage their public obligations against difficult personal decisions? Gabbard's divorce teaches one of the most important lessons: the need of giving personal well-being first priority, even for people in public positions. Although ending a marriage can be somewhat challenging, occasionally both parties must make the decision in order for them to discover serenity and happiness. Gabbard's divorce demonstrates that, no matter how difficult it may be, even leaders have to make decisions that give their mental health top priority. Public personalities especially find this challenging, given the pressure to keep a flawless public image. In the end, whether in a public capacity or not, Tulsi Gabbard's experience provides valuable insights for everybody. It reminds us that hardships like divorce do not discriminate depending on status or position in life. Even effective leaders like Gabbard have to negotiate the difficulty of juggling public responsibilities with personal relationships. The most crucial lesson is that even in the chase of professional achievement, personal well-being should never be compromised. What lessons on juggling personal well-being with professional obligations might Tulsi Gabbard's divorce provide? Gabbard's vision for her future: life after divorce. Following her divorce, Tulsi Gabbard is excited about the next phase of her life and is emphasizing personal happiness and development once more. Though it can be challenging, going through such a major life transition also presents a chance for introspection and the potential to create fresh future goals. For Gabbard, this period of change could present a chance to investigate new avenues, both personally and professionally, while she is still advocating issues close to her. Following her divorce, Gabbard has discussed the need of self-care and the need to make choices that give her health top priority. Gabbard, who has spent much of her life in public view, is aware of the toll high-stress events and continual tension can have. This new stage of her life presents her with an opportunity to recuperate, concentrate on herself, and find pleasure away from public view. How is Tulsi Gabbard embracing self-care as she goes on following her divorce? One of the main features of Gabbard's future vision is her focus on personal happiness. Many people find going through divorce to be a trying and emotional event. It can, nevertheless, also be a period for self-discovery and personal development. Gabbard has demonstrated her will to maximize her new chapter by concentrating on the activities that really make her happy, both emotionally and professionally. Gabbard's public life is not being abandoned in light of this new emphasis on personal happiness. She has now indeed declared her wish to keep working in politics and public service, but she is now emphasizing more on the juggling of her personal life with her profession. Gabbard's story reminds us that even people in demanding professions have to make time and to take care of their personal well-being if they want to be successful over the long term. How is Tulsi Gabbard managing her public career and her personal happiness? Gabbard has hinted going forward about possible career changes and new objectives fit for her present priorities. She still plays a part in politics, but she has also indicated interest in concentrating on mental health, self-care, and difficult life decisions. These subjects speak to her personally and might give her a fresh stage on which to change the course of events for others. From her divorce, Gabbard has discovered among the most important lessons the value of making tough but required decisions in life. Although ending a marriage is never easy, occasionally it is the best choice for both of the involved people. Gabbard's determination to make this difficult decision shows her dedication to lead a real and honest life. Her future activities, both emotionally and professionally, will most certainly be shaped by this dedication to genuineness. What knowledge from her divorce can help Tulsi Gabbard build her future? Gabbard is committed to building a future that gives her happiness and well-being top priority as she starts this next phase of her life. This could call for personal pursuits, fresh job perspectives, or just leisure time, enjoyment outside of public view. She is obviously resolved to make decisions that fit her ideals and offer her fulfillment, whichever road she decides upon. Gabbard's experience reminds everyone undergoing a similar life change that obstacles can also present chances for personal development and self-discovery. Though challenging, divorce can result in fresh starts and the opportunity to concentrate on what is important. Gabbard sees her future as one of hope, resiliency, and a strong will to lead a life she finds joyful. How may Tulsi Gabbard's future vision encourage others to welcome fresh starts? Tulsi Gabbard's story tells of personal development and fortitude. Through a difficult chapter in her life, her divorce has allowed her to consider her actual future wants. Gabbard's emphasis on self-care, personal satisfaction, and making difficult decisions will keep her on her road forward. Whether Gabbard stays in politics or moves into other fields, her narrative is evidence of the strength of resiliency and the need of being loyal to oneself. As Tulsi Gabbard keeps on her path of personal development and self-discovery, what lies ahead? Thanks for watching. Tulsi Gabbard's story reminds us all of the power of resilience and staying true to ourselves. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories of growth and transformation.